Halo Trek, Episode 4. Dear readers and listeners, I avoid using unnatural mind work to make any of my works, also known as artificial intelligence, of course. But anytime you regard audio to text or text to audio to be unnatural mind work, I suppose you may point to this and say, no, you're wrong. You do use it, artificial intelligence. If that is true, then I use it sometimes. Some of my spellings are modified, but really that only matters in a work that has spelling. You will be able to see a transcript if you are looking at this on YouTube, of course, and therefore, yes, there will be spelling, but that's not my spelling. That's YouTube spelling. So a few words on my Starfleet. It is not the popularized Starfleet from TV and movies. Mine is simply a Starfleet, a fleet of interplanetary going ships, spaceships. This is an imaginary story. In my theorized story, there is no transporter that may transport humans until a future date when it is invented. If a human tries to transport on one of these transporters, it will leave a blank mind and a body that will live or die at some point. It will likely fry its brain. So in my theory, I treat weightlessness in a more straightforward manner. I find it hard to believe that one may have a system of hollow emitters, like holodeck, on an interplanetary ship without extensive problems with weightlessness. How does one move about an area like on a planet, like on Earth, with gravity and light, such as, So in a room, on a ship, moving in space, in a weightless environment, it's flying through this void without gravity. How does that happen? It's not very likely. This is why I came up with the Halo system, which uses a simulation in the mind of the person, not, like a holodeck. Now, without further delay, the beginning of this episode. Saxon, Shuttle 1. This shuttle, like many others, had a mirror in the laboratory section. Kenton looked at himself a few times just to make sure that he was presentable to his new shipmates. His hair had always been golden blonde. It was now shaved very near to his head. He did not have a beard, simply for he had always seemed to be labeled as a Viking type when he did so. Maybe it had to do with his DNA, which means that he was actually related to Vikings somewhere in history. He sat in the left seat of the shuttle and waited for the android to perform the safety list. After this, they navigated, signaled to the port for departure, and powered out to his new ship assignment on the USS Saxon. Shuttle Room 1. There was a young-looking person standing on the other side of transparent aluminum in the signal room area, what some would call the tower section, overlooking the shuttles in the shuttle bay. This person had their hand up in greeting. The arrivals navigated past the hatch. Both used their grab boots and fastened their feet to the floor's metal plating. "Welcome to the Saxon, sir." "Thank you. Take us to the bridge," said Kenton. Here's your halo, sir, said the aide, handing he and Morgan their headgear. This would allow them to enter the simulated environment. Kenton took the headgear, but he did not turn it on, nor did Morgan. Pardon me, said Kenton. We will make our own way to the bridge. The aide looked surprised. Saxon Lounge, number 2. Captain's Log, Stardate 7451.3. I am the newly assigned captain of the Saxon. I am Edward Kenton, filling the position of the departed 2 former captains, both Oliver Steinway and then Dan Fowler after him. The Saxon personnel will be operating in Halo without androids. End of Captain's Level 1 log. There was a beep, and Kenton said, "You may enter." Commander Tabitha Green entered. Kenton stepped around the seat that he was standing behind, now looking out the window and then turning. Dramatically, he walked swiftly over to Tabitha Green and put out a hand. She greeted him with the handshake and a smile. Kenton seemed okay, not having a salute. "I think we met that one time in Sydney," said Miss Green, unsure. "Yes, it was a very brief meeting, if we had it," said Kenton. "What may I do for you, Commander Green?" "Well, Captain, will you explain to me the disposition of our former Captain Steinway?" "He's still in hospital from his injuries. I understand he may take on a new assignment. That's the extent of my information thus far, besides the rumors. As for Dan Fowler, he was given a new position. I have even less information to divulge in that situation. As soon as I need to have it, I'm sure I will learn more." "Yes, I think it was another cruiser, maybe with a larger crew complement," said Tabitha Green. "We also have a new head warden that I brought over, 2-Pip Morgan Fallon, a person that I personally trust. Not that I did not like Mr. Boone. He seems to have other plans." Tabitha nodded affirmatively. 2-Pip's warden? Oh, yes, I see. A lieutenant in security section / warden. So I understand you're going to change the Halo operations process? Said Miss Green. Yes, Miss Green, we're going to try something that has worked before on other ships. I'm going to operate without the use of the androids so much, and I prefer the word warden to security. When there is more time, I'll explain. So when we have to go hands-on, said Tabitha Green, when we have to do that, and may we still call security? Do we have to call wardens? Miss Green, you leave the Halo environment and you put your hands on, as in hands on it. Yes, Commander, you may still signal security. I will give up on warden for you. But Captain, if we're in Halo on the bridge and we need to pop down to a cargo area, for example, we will merely be observing the cargo area while we're actually on the bridge, and we would not be able to intervene. I understand your doubts about how it will work, yet I hope you will allow it to take form, at least as a drill, he said. Do we make this arrangement immediately, sir? Yes, we start immediately, he said. Very well, Captain. Allow me to go detach from my android, and I will talk with the operations officer and get the process started. Thank you, number one. Dismissed. He watched her exit and then said, Commander, what is the name of the Saxon's mainframe? Excuse me, sir? Said Green with a strange look. Yes, Miss Green. I name the data processors and mainframes on ships that I am on. Captain, sir, I will leave the naming up to you. Am I dismissed? Yes, Commander, you're dismissed. Yes. Saxon mainframe? There was no answer from Kenton. Kenton used his D-73. Commander, how do we talk to the mainframe on this ship? Meaning the computer, sir? Asked Commander Green over the communicator. Affirmative, Miss Green. Never mind. Green out. Captain out. Kenton out. There was a beep. Computer, as the new captain of the Saxon, until further ordered, you will answer to your name, that is, Saxon. Affirmative, my name is now Saxon, said the computer, said the mainframe. Saxon out of Halo. View. Even without an android, he was able to look around the room, for a simulation is made on any data processing device. He felt no weightlessness yet. He knew that his body was now on the bridge, tethered to the seat in weightlessness. He exited the lounge back onto the bridge and saw himself strapped to a seat. Those still in Halo would only see him enter the room and probably would see an empty seat. Saxon, put me in Halo simulation environment, he said. Kenton could see that he was right, and the captain's seat showed that there was no one sitting in it. He went to the captain's seat and sat in it. He was now both truly in the seat out of Halo and in the seat in the simulation. As part of this drill, he took himself out of Halo again and unstrapped from his seat and floated out and maneuvered toward the door to the turbolift. Kenton turned and looked around the room. Saxon out of Halo view. He numbered the amount of androids that he saw, 3 androids. He thought to himself for a few moments about the possibility of allowing at least 1 android in every room of the ship for the purpose of doing hands-on work. That would be allowable. Commander Green, he said, see that at least 1 android is present and permanent duty for every room on the ship. Aye, sir, said the commander. Also, Commander, in the event that we need to do any human hands-on work per area, so we may utilize the android to do so. One of us will. Good idea, sir. I'll see that it's done on every level, said Tabitha Green. A question, said Green. What is it, Miss Green? What's the problem? Asked Kenton. We're still at dock. Are we going to actually have a mission anytime soon? That is yet to be determined by Starfleet, he said. For the time being, we will drill as if we were on a mission. That's what the drill is. It's what it means to drill. Aye, Captain, said Commander Green, failing to hide some of her exasperation. Saxon, put me back in Halo, said Kenton. Kenton's office. Kenton at his desk, sipping on some Java brew, when his data link beeped, alerting him of a message. It was from Admiral Browning. "Yes, Admiral. What can I do for you today, sir?" he said. "The Neutron is on its way to your location, Captain. You will take on its cargo and transport it to Mars Station. From Mars Station, you will take on a crew and cargo to transport to the Janus Gate. At the Janus Gate, you will wait for further." "Will do, Admiral. I understand. Is this a high-level shipment?" he asked. "Captain, it is mixed cargo, as a cruiser such as yours will be." "Captain, it is normal cargo," said the Admiral. Earthquake Station, Earth. Captain Steinway, personal log, 7464.6. Admiral Tien was at Earthquake Station on Earth meeting with me. I had just been released days earlier from hospital. The Admiral had told me the meeting was about a special operation I was to be sent on using the Neutron to get out to the Saxon. All else was unknown. End of personal log. The Admiral walked away from the window and came to stand in front of me. "Well, Captain, let's see. You're looking good, aren't you?" "Yes. I suppose you're okay with this mission." "It was brain surgery, sir, and they tell me I have a clean bill of health, if that matters." "Very good, Captain, so let's get right to it. Admiral Browning is now..." The Admiral paused uncomfortably. "He is detained until further notice." Admiral Browning had an android humanized so well that it is not detected in every way. It is human, except it's not, of course, said the Admiral. He gave it the name Edward Kenton and made it a captain and sent this captain to take your position on the Saxon, he said. I looked at the Admiral in disbelief. "Are you sure, sir?" "Indeed I am. We therefore are sending you on a special mission to the Saxon. This android captain has been told that he's trying to be with he's told that he's supposed to rendezvous with the Neutron before it leaves Earth space. So you are to slip on board when the cargo is loaded from the Neutron. You might use your own androids to accomplish your mission if you so choose. Your mission is to deactivate Kenton first by entering a special code, which is a word that word is papermate. Remember that. Followed by the captain's last name, Kenton. If Admiral Browning was truthful, this will deactivate the android. If the Admiral Captain does not deactivate at this point, you should take any means necessary to deactivate. No, it will not be murder. You will not be killing the android. It can be you see, it's an android. It can be reactivated at any point later if you want to, even if you break it. We will send a coded message to the first officer, Commander Green, at the rendezvous point. Therefore, she will know what's going on if she gets the message. Furthermore, Captain, you will be meeting an operative codenamed Torchlight as you leave Earthquake station and go into orbit into the Neutron. Very well, Admiral. I'll get it done. See that you do, Captain. You may find yourself with a bit more rank if you do well. Dismissed, Captain Steinway. I saluted, and he returned the salute. I departed his office. This was the San Francisco, California office of Starfleet, and the designation, both on Earth as well as in orbit, is Earthquake Station. The Saxon was in orbit, and I was to transport myself to the Neutron, make contact with the intelligence officer, who was to act as my deputy. He was to act as my deputy to facilitate easily boarding both the Neutron and the Saxon. Cargo Bay 1, Saxon. I and my operative Torchlight exited the Neutron. I was in the uniform of a warrant officer. We were not in Halo, and I drifted in weightlessness into the cargo bay. Okay, Mr. Torchlight, you're dismissed. I'll carry on from here. Have fun, sir, said the operative. I waited for everyone to clear out, and I made my way weightlessly to the airlock and was able to get to the corridor before the cargo bay was sealed off. I tapped my Delta 73 communicator. Commander Green, over. Who is this, over? I would have thought you knew my voice. However, I need you to meet me at Cargo Bay 1. You'll see me floating there, outside of Halo, of course. Steinway out. I waited several minutes, began to wonder I shouldn't call her back, and then there she was, Tabitha Green, looking very surprised to see me. Captain, what are you doing here? No time to talk. I guess you didn't get the message. Commander, I'm on a special operation. I'm going to need you to get me outside of Halo. I should not appear on the Halo system unless someone is looking. Tabitha Green quickly looked away as someone walked by that was in Halo. She saluted the officer and sent him on his way. I will take your word for it, sir. However, at some point, you're going to have to explain to me what's going on. Commander Green, I'm here on the orders of Admiral Tien. Looks like Admiral Browning trapped himself this time. He created an android and called it Edward Kenton. Captain Edward Kenton is an android. She looked at me very surprised. That's not possible because he's in the Halo system. It is possible because he thinks he's a human. And so does the main computer, of course. I've been sent to deactivate him with a special code word, and I was to let you know so that you could help in some way if you can get me close. We will need to get you into a captain's uniform. Don't you think, sir? Said Tabitha. Well, yes, right. So meet me in engineering and get me a uniform, just in case someone else sees me outside of Halo. Aye, sir. On it, said Tabitha. Bridge, 1 day later. Stardate 7465.3. Captain's log 74653.3. The Saxon personnel have gone an entire day in Halo Sim, again at first shift, on the bridge. I and my fellow members are totally satisfied that we may operate this way without always being linked to an android. We have been given an assignment from Starfleet at last. We had made our rendezvous with the Neutron not having used any energy thus far. We had taken on the load as assigned and, well, end of Captain's Level 3 log. Helm, set a course for Mars station. Make it so, said Kenton. Aye, Captain. Engage, he said with a wave of his hand. The engines reverberated to life, and the Saxon moved out smoothly from near Earthquake Station. During the previous evening shift, Kenton had the ship moved away from the moorings so that they were in the open to make a rendezvous with the Neutron. Captain, we have a target bearing 03 at approximately 0.6 light years. That puts the target in front of us. This was from his science officer on his right. Let me know the speed of the target and type whenever you have it, said Kenton. Aye, sir. A few moments later, Sir, the target has disappeared. Very well, said Kenton. Keep an eye out for it. Commander Green, you have the bridge, said Kenton, rising from his seat and walking to the meeting room. Later, in the Saxon Lounge, 7465.58, Kenton was sitting at a table in the lounge that he now had named the Saxon Lounge. He saw his executive number 1 walking towards him. Have a seat, Miss Green, he said. Captain, I received an email from Captain Steinway. He seems to think that he is going to return to the Saxon one day. I doubt it, said Kenton. I've gotten the impression from the Admiral that he will be assigned to another ship. The Brisbane was one mentioned. That is off book, of course. Not for me. The Brisbane is still on the planner, is it not? Said Tabitha Green. Only a few months down the line, he said. I really wouldn't know, said Tabitha. Pardon me, Miss Green. I must be getting to my quarters now to get things put away, said Kenton. See you later, Captain, said Tabitha. She watched the captain departing as she glanced over at the captain's table, wondering. Bridge 7466.484. It was time. I had made my way to the bridge and was out of halo. I watched the captain's chair carefully and realized I was seeing the android. It looked very human, but I knew different. Captain Kenton, the android, was operating in Halo. The system was treating him as any of the other humans that were in Halo. Much later. We will be at Mars Station by this time tomorrow, sir, said Commander Tabitha Green. I carefully put my hands on the Halo unit on the android's head and removed it. The Kenton android's eyes popped open. Papermate, Kenton, I said. The android closed its eyes and de-energized. I took the next step and put the captain's halo on my own head and waited for the system to recognize me. You are Oliver Steinway, Captain, said the computer voice. Computer, in Halo. Saxon, in Halo. I changed, and I realized now that I was in Halo, the weightlessness was gone. There was a gasp from the navigations officer as he saw me. Captain, where did you come from? I've been around. Hello, Tabitha. Hello, Captain. Well, mission accomplished, sir. Indeed. Thanks for all the help you gave me. Let's notify Starfleet now. And I'd like a break. Good to have you back in charge, sir, said Tabitha Green. This is the end of this episode. Thanks for listening. I am Eugene, the son of Douglas.